There she is.
Hi, Majel. How are you?
There she is. There's that voice that tells us we're recording and the show is on. We are hot. If anybody's joining us, sorry for our little bumps along the way. But I guess without further ado, let's start the show. 3, 2. Howdy, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the 2022 Dragon Con Report. We are continuing on our 11th season of covering this con we love so much. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the rest of our station crew, starting, of course, with director Mike Faber.
Hi, I'm here. I'm doing technical difficulty stuff. I'll be back. Bye.
And we appreciate you, sir. We also have with us Darren.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm very zen tonight.
And I hope everybody brought their appetites because we're going to be talking about food. We're going to be talking a lot about food. So, yes, you may be hungry. Those people who are watching us or listening to us on the podcast, yeah, you might want to eat something because you're going to get quite an appetite after we're done with
snackage
this episode.
Going on.
Absolutely. We also have Jen back with us, of course.
Ew.
Howdy. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm still trying to get used to this being darker later thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
My sleep still hasn't adjusted.
Yeah. Well, maybe that won't be a thing that we have to adjust to anymore. Who knows, right? But fingers crossed. Fingers crossed from
it would be nice. It would be nice. So.
From our good friend Michael joining us from the Dragon Con Newbies group.
Hey, thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. Welcome back and welcome to everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening. We are a proud member of the ESO network. We have a TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool stuff, including a very cool design for the Dragon Con Report podcast. That's us. There's a link for that in this episode's show notes and at the top of the ESO network page. The ESO network also has a Patreon page. And of course, as always, thank you, patrons, for all of your support. We really do appreciate you. You can also help support our show by leaving a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us. There's so many that we're part of: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible.com, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. You can also access past episodes at DragonConReport.com. And if you would like to leave direct feedback or comment on the show, you can do so in Facebook right now, or feel free to email us at feedback@DragonConReport.com.
Of course, and also really say to our YouTube listeners too, because we're up there now too.
Woo!
That's right. You could also subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we'll be putting more and more stuff up there as time goes on. But we're even over the next month, we're going to be posting the Dragon Con tours that Darren and I did a couple years back up there.
Yes, those are the great ones.
So should be
those
kind
are
of
great
fun.
helps. So now, once again, want to make this very clear. The Dragon Con Report podcast is an unofficial podcast of the con. We are not and never have been officially connected with Dragon Con. For all the official news, we strongly recommend checking out the official site and the social media outlets. Okay, that said, all the business is at hand. Let's get started with some news because we actually have news. I want to talk about some of the important dates. A couple of days ago, on the 18th of March, Dragon Con membership rates went up. They went up from $120 to $140.
Oof.
And I understand that they will be $140 through June 17th. And then pricing after that point and will be determined and announced prior to June 1st. Also at the door in single day memberships will be determined around June 1st as well, at least announced that way. So yes, if you haven't decided, the rates is just going to keep going up. So please, get your membership tickets as soon as you can. A $5 processing fee will be applied to all memberships, of course, and Dragon Con memberships are non-refundable and non-transferable. So no matter what happens, you will be responsible for those. Guest and attending pros, the application process is still live. The performers application, though, expires or ends on the 31st. So if you are a performer and you are interested in being at Dragon Con, performing at Dragon Con, get your application in like now. The new ad vendors application, those ended on the 15th of March. So that's done. And also the art show application ended on the 1st of March. So that's done as well. Any word on the Dragon Con parade registration? Is that
It's gone and done. It is gone and done.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
It went in, I think, 2 days,
Yeah,
I think, or something like that.
I think last time we talked, we mentioned that there was a Hair of the Dragon party on the 26th of February. Did anybody go to that or know what happened there? I saw a lot of pictures, really nice pictures, because I guess a lot of photographers were set up. People were in costume. And it looked pretty good. But anybody else hear anything cool about that event?
Did not go.
Didn't hear anything about it.
Nope.
Hopefully everyone had a good time.
I hope somebody did.
You know,
I hope there was
I didn't see
alcohol
anybody
involved.
complaining.
Well, that's a good thing, because people will complain. Like sometimes they're not quick to like say how good something was and how much they enjoyed it. But man, if something went wrong, they will be quick to complain. So, and I think there was a party after the volunteer meeting as well, if I'm not mistaken.
The halfway to Dragon Con party.
Yes.
Because one thing about Dragon Con is we love our parties.
Absolutely.
Any excuse to throw down a party.
And speaking of the volunteers, the volunteer meeting, yes, the first volunteer meeting was held at the Marriott Marquis on the 19th of March. My understanding is that you could watch it as well. There was some interesting news that came out of the volunteer meeting. I know that Jen, you provided me with some very good notes as to what happened. What was like the big thing that you took away from that meeting?
Well, I would say the best news I heard was that they're going to slowly ramp up back up to pre-Panini numbers. That's very exciting to me. That's like 2013.
Yes.
Yes.
You kind of broke up there a little bit, but for those people who can hear her, she right now Dragon Con is planning a slow growth back to normal, quote unquote. And
what's
right now,
normal at Dragon Con?
Right,
Please
right
define
now-
that.
There is no such thing as normal at Dragon Con.
right now they're currently looking at a cap at 60,000, which would be 20,000 more than we had last year. I mean, obviously anything that allows us to have some room to move around and shop and not wait in as many lines is a good thing, right?
Yes, agreed.
Now, I don't know how close they came to like turning people away last year. And so I don't know if that's going to be an issue this year.
Well, I mean, they turned a lot of people away for not being vaccinated and not taking tests. So, I mean, they turned people away.
That's true. But I mean, as far as their goal or their cap of 40,000, how many people did they, did it come to a point where they said, no, we can't take it? I don't think they ever came to a point where they couldn't take any more memberships.
I didn't hear anything about that. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it would have been quite the storm on the groups and social media if they had.
The internet
Absolutely.
would have blown up if that was the case. Yeah.
So last year they probably that was a goal of they had in mind, but they didn't have to enforce it. With everything like that's happening, if everything stays status quo, if they want to keep it at 60,000, I feel that they might have to enforce that if they want to just keep it to that level, because I would imagine that a lot of people who were hesitant last year will not be as hesitant this year.
Yeah, a lot of the regulations, especially in Georgia, are starting to lighten up. So, like, the masking, everything else is starting to really go away here. pending any further variants or outbreaks. So yeah, I fully expect that, if they have a cap in place, there will probably be a lot of people who are bouncing against the doors trying to get in and won't be able to make it.
And I understand that they have not yet decided or set in stone any protocols as far as basically they're just following, and like last year, they're following whatever the CDC decides. So as the CDC makes decisions going forward, they will adjust accordingly. But to your point, Mike, I think that means that right now there's probably not a lot of protocols going to be in place.
Right.
Well, and exactly, and it's still, I'm sure we'll see people in masks, and still trying to be safe, because I know for myself and Judy that we're probably a lot of times when we go out, we're the only ones wearing masks. A lot of times now, everyone's forgotten pretty much. Hey, it's still out there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it depends on state to state how most communities are dealing with it. But yes, right here, Mike and I were actually the three Mikes. All of us were at the Pandemic Con, the Pandemic Tour, whatever you want to call it, Atlanta Comic Con over the past weekend, and very few people were wearing masks at all. So I would imagine that's going to pretty much continue on at most conventions this year.
Exactly. So we're supposed to go to a con in 2 weeks, and pretty much it's gonna be the same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, but again, it's a personal choice for those people who are wearing masks. I continue to wear my mask when I'm out. For those people who are more comfortable wearing a mask, they are certainly welcome to do so. What else from the volunteer meeting? Anybody else have any sort of information there?
Well, there's going to be changes to the gaming area.
Again?
Because the renovations they've been doing at America's Mart has pretty much now made it to where the people can't fit into part one or building one. So they're right now looking at using part of building 3.
Okay.
We don't know yet what that'll look like, but they did announce that at the meeting, as well as that the film festival will be taking a hiatus again this year. And they have decided that at the aquarium party, they will no longer be holding the chosen costume contest. Now that's not on hiatus, that's just gone, because the aquarium has also done renovations, and the space that they would have used in the past for that costume contest no longer exists.
There be whales there, sir.
So they wanted to make sure people knew that the Georgia night at the aquarium for Dragon Con will still take place. That's not going anywhere. But the costume contest will not take place.
Yeah, you can still wear your costume, just you
just won't get a prize.
Exactly.
They said they'd like to figure out something else that they could do to entice the costumers, or to reward the really great outfits. They don't know yet what that would look like.
Okay, so it's a work in progress.
Yes. Awesome. As many things are when you're at the halfway point.
Yeah,
as many things are. Even
as many things are the day before con.
Right.
The day of the con. Yes, it's Dragon Con, right?
Even on the Monday of the con, things are still tentative.
Yeah, seriously. And that's not the con.
Right.
That's just everything.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, because do you think, I haven't been to the aquarium party. Is this going to be an issue? Do you think? Is it going to keep people from going?
No.
It might keep some, but we did the VIP level at last year's party, and there was tables and groups of people were, of course, spread out because of protocols in place, but I'd say there was still a good turnout.
Doesn't it always sell out pretty much really quickly?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I don't don't know if that's because of the costume or if the costume contest had something to do with that. I know in the years that I've gone that they've had the contest, there has been a lot of entrants signing up for it. And and it's been right there in the middle of the crowd, which, I mean, to me did cause kind of a bottleneck, right? But I think they put a river through it or something. Or some part of the new exhibits and renovations they did.
Yeah.
I think there's just something cutting right through where the stage would have been. So
Gotcha.
I mean,
gotcha.
but I mean, I'll go back after trying the VIP level. Yeah, I'll go back.
For the open
That
bar.
food was awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
Free food and
the
open bar.
was open too.
Free food and open bar is a good thing, my friends. Really is.
Absolutely.
But it's
There's
interesting.
some good eats.
Some of the folks
What's up?
over on the Facebook group, actually, we get some folks already chatting about, Dragon Con and everything, what we're talking about. Sarah Rose actually posted that there is a waiting list out there also for the parade. So if you do want to try to still get in the parade, there is a waiting list and there's a Google Doc out there for it. So there's a Google Doc for everything.
There's a Google Doc for everything, exactly.
There's a Google Doc for food at college.
Well, we will be talking about that more.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about food, and people are starting, ramping up already. I want to say hey to Jerry Chandler, of course, Robert Snavely, Renee Cooper, Jennifer Adams. Hello, is posting in there.
I'm helping to watch the comments.
I know. And of course, Sarah Rose. So yeah, hi everybody who's paying attention and participating over in the Facebook group. We do appreciate it. So it's pretty awesome.
I think some of the other news that came out, they are planning to do Dragon Con or DC Superheroes again. So they're doing the charity walks. They're doing, they have an event, I guess, scheduled on April 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to help out at Open Hands. So you can find out more information about that by going to the Dragon Con website. And there another event is tentative for May as well. So that's good work they're doing there. One of the notes that you left for me, Jen, I was like, Volunteer Village expanding with a satellite location at the Westin. I don't know what Volunteer Village is.
So it's for the volunteers. They've had a hub on the past few years on the 10th floor of the Marriott. That used to be a spot that a lot of people were going up there to do group photos and stuff. But it was basically, it's a pretty decently sized floor that can get you away from the madness of con and take a little break. So they started setting up a volunteer village there. And what it is a spot where only volunteers can go in, be away from the public eye of con goers. And they have snacks and some cold drinks, sodas, waters, some places to sit down and kind of like close off the noise.
Yeah.
Close out the noise.
Well, the Westin's a good place for that.
It's a break. Yeah, it's a spot to take a break. And it's been very popular with volunteers. Volunteers love it. And it's the con is in 5 hotels, so it makes sense that they would expand to another spot, and so people have more options and they don't have to say you're at the Westin, you need a break, you got to go all the way
Westin
to the Marriott.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah.
So now there's something back and forth that people can split amongst to the hotels.
It's like a con suite for volunteers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Very nice. I didn't know that existed. That's a cool thing. So that's pretty awesome. And then the next volunteer meeting is scheduled for July 16th. And as usual, and at this stage, every department is in need of volunteers. The volunteer application is active on the Dragon Con webpage. So if you are interested in finding out more information about how you can volunteer, go do so, because it's a good thing.
You can also still find the video from last week's volunteer meeting online on Facebook, and each department came up and said how many spots they need, what they're looking for. There's a few that only had spots for like 1 or 2 people, but most of them were looking for 10 or more, or a good amount were looking for 10 or more. So, and there is a dedicated Facebook group for volunteers, including prospective volunteers, if they want to chat with people and see what it's like, and also find availabilities.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the price hikes and stuff about with the badges. This is a great way to get your membership for the year. You know, you go in, the first year I think it's like $20, but you put in your time and you've got yourself a badge. And then every year after that is on Dragon Con, as long as you put in your time. So it's a great way to give back to the con and also get you in the door. So I wholly recommend it.
And Renee Cooper is saying volunteers, be sure to check Eventini, the Eventini website.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think all of that Eventini handles all of the volunteers applications, as well as the vendor information and all that kind of stuff too.
That's handy, all in one place.
Yep. I know, right? Okay, so that's everything that came out of the volunteer meeting. We just spoke about the Westin. I am staying at the Westin this year, and I've stayed at the Westin before. I like staying at the Westin. It is my hotel of choice.
So Westin, if anyone needs extra space, Mike Gordon has it for you.
Right. Party in Gordon's room.
For those folks who were staying at the Westin, the payments, of course, the big deposit, the big massive deposit that was going to be taken out of your account or your charge card, whatever, what happened on the first or the first week, I believe, of March. So, and of course, mine was not without drama. So everything got straightened away. I do appreciate everybody at the Westin for helping me out and making sure I didn't lose my room. But I will say, as a reminder to people out there, do not use debit cards to reserve rooms. Just don't.
No.
Credit
Double
cards,
plus on good. Yeah.
Credit cards are the way to go. If you don't have a credit card, work it out with somebody or something. But debit cards, not a good idea. I've not had any really great luck using a debit card because that gets the bank involved. And sometimes the bank looks at a charge and says, I don't know what this is. We're not going to approve it. And of course, for Dragon Con, that means you just lost your room. So not a good thing. So I definitely would just recommend use a credit card if possible and save some of that drama for Dragon Con, actually, when it happens.
And that said, this is a great time if you don't have a room now to start pinging those host hotels, because those people who couldn't make their deposits, they just got canceled. Well, there's a lot of rooms that just opened up. So
it's true. Yeah. They went pretty fast because I watched them as I was actually on hold trying to negotiate my current room. I found that there was a room open. So the
vultures were circling, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I don't know if it was the room that I was negotiating, but so yes, keep checking with the hotels because there's it's possible. For those people who say it's not possible to get a host hotel room between now and Dragon Con, it's not true. It's difficult. But not impossible. But yes, dealing with the hotels, I must say, is my least favorite thing about Dragon Con.
I concur. Yeah.
So, and I guess enough said about that, the better. But anyway, so that happened. Anybody else have any news, notes, anything? Michael, do you have anything from the newbies group that we should be aware of? Notifications that way?
Nothing new yet. We're just watching the membership schedule and waiting for any kind of news to pop out. I mean, we're still waiting on guests. One of the big questions that came up recently was, why hasn't the guest list been updated? It's like, well, they're still working on it. There was a big kind of upheaval behind the scenes of, resorting everything that they're working on because they were taking the time to go ahead and reformat a lot of stuff. So the guests are coming. We just don't have them yet, and don't panic. But other than
Yes.
that,
we're
doing
panicking.
all right.
Don't worry.
They have yeah, I noticed that they have announced some attending pros already. So some people have gotten their acceptance for that. But yes, I've always found that if you're applying to be a guest and you haven't heard anything, it's a good thing, because if they don't want you, they tell you right away. So yeah, so no news is good news, at least for now. And I'm sure that'll happen probably by the time this airs. They'll have that all resolved. So all right, so that's it for news and notes. We're going to take for those people who are listening, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about the best we ever ate at Dragon Con.
Woohoo!